in this matter of using this book, it's the same thing. But now, even when you look at, even you go to the back of the book, you know what I'm saying? When you go to the back of the book, you know what I'm saying? You see this same psychological whipping of your brain that you need to examine. Now, I'm saying where it says, and behold, I am coming, you know what I'm saying, quickly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, okay. My reward is with me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And it says to give to everyone according to his works. You see what I'm saying? So in the mind frame, you're thinking that there is somebody coming and it's going to bring you riches, wealth, and you're going to be rich in his glory and all that, but don't pay rent and see where you end up. You know what I'm saying? Go rob a bank and get caught, or don't get caught, because if you get caught, you know what if you get caught, you know what's going to happen. I'm just being funny. You know what I'm saying? But it says here, I am Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. You see what I'm saying? So when you're hearing this type of lectual words that are put into your brain through using these books, you know what I'm saying? The trickery game can be easily manipulated. Now, what do I mean by that? It's the same thing if you have money and it's backed up by silver and gold. So when time comes, they tell you on the dollar bill or the $5 bill or whatever, it says redeemable in gold. So, you know what I'm saying? So you can get your money for the gold, so there's a substance to it. You see what I'm saying? To them taking your gold and using it as a worth and a value to the dollars in which they can give you for your gold that would be spendable. And if anything was to happen, you could always say, I don't want this money anymore, I want back my gold, and whatever money you have left over that you haven't spent, or whatever you make or whatever, you will be able to buy back all your gold. So there is a worth and a value that doesn't lose in the matter. But when you take away the gold and the silver and all that shit, and it just becomes legal tender based on records and just paper, you know what I'm saying? It is easy for them to inflate, deflate, you know what I'm saying, steal, rob, you know what I'm saying, and then just shift the records. Same thing with the biblical Bible, you know what I'm saying? Or the biblical Bible, their biblical Bible, they call it, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They could easily, you know what I'm saying, say that this book is ancient and come from way back to when God, you know, the earth was out without form, and he formed it, and I guess he came down and told someone, and someone told someone else, but told this and told that, but don't pay a rent, and you'll see what happened to you while the preacher's driving a Lamborghini, you know what I'm saying, with a $500 suit, $500,000 suit on it, and some gold and some jewels, and, you know what I'm saying, and probably some product, you know, but you get the picture. So this is how they're able to manipulate your brain. It's as simple as that. Same thing with the news media. The same thing with the news. If you come on the news and they run a story, you know what I'm saying, or they put a story on there, you know, the breaking news and so forth, and they say a certain thing, a certain this, and then, you know, no investigation by the common people itself was able to investigate, so it had to be investigated by a certain set of people. You know what I'm saying? So those certain set of people said this and said that, and then rushed through this, and the next thing you know, this guy's on trial, he's in jail. But then when we go back and look at the situation, whether he had his knee on the person's neck or something, and this and that, there was no reason for him to do that and break the person's neck at all. So that's straight. But at the same time, the person could have exacerbated the situation. He could have had a mental problem. He could have went off. He could have tried to kill, stab, box around. None of these things are being explained on both sides. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, there was no reason for a police force to have that many people in a police force and cannot handle one person without cracking their neck. So what we see went on with George Floyd, you know what I'm saying, is another true game they play. A police officer in uniform, which to me, I don't know what he looked like, like he's somewhere in Palm Beach probably right now, maxing out, you know what I'm saying, because he just played the role. But his job was to make the world think that the police was so bad because they killed George Floyd by keeping their knee on his neck. And if you notice, he was talking about, yeah, go to sleep, go to sleep. Meanwhile, he was cracking his neck. You know what I'm saying? And this is the scenario supposed to be. And then next thing he dies, and then people go crazy. Obama exploits it. He makes it even worse. And then Black Lives Matter come out. Say, Black Lives Matter. They can rap songs and shit. The bands, and all that bullshit. Yeah, Black Lives Matter, so on and so on. People's minds see a truth that happened, but they did not see the trickery in the whole game. So when you see that they came out even with the pandemic, it was the same thing. You know what I'm saying? They're going to tell you some truthful stuff that seems to be telling you the truth, but not the truth that you seem to think that it is. So when he says to you that this is coming and the great virus is coming and all this different stuff, and you got to be the, if that was true, then that would be truthful in itself. You see what I'm saying? But that's not the game that was played in that truthful game that he think that he have used. Same thing you have with LBJ. You know what I'm saying? Why I always bring him up. You know what I'm saying? Even though he had to sign the civil rights stuff and all this different stuff and pass it and whatever, and he finally did over the time, and week before he was there and he came up and everything was good. You know what I'm saying? And boom. So he figured in his mind, okay, I'll pass the civil rights, but they ain't gonna get no rights. You know what I'm saying? The rights that they're gonna get gonna be very, you know what I'm saying, in more ways than one, minimal. So to the point where it really doesn't do much good. So, but he's going to tell you, yeah, I'm a pass of civil rights and so on and so on. But then going to come back on another speech and talk about it. They force my hand and this and that, and these Negroes think they're going to get me to do this to these Negroes. And but how he passed the civil rights and how he cares so much about you. See what I'm saying? So even going back to where we look at even slavery, you know what I'm saying, you see the world even after and during, you know what I'm saying, in many neighborhoods were attacking the black people because they believe in what their people had told them is the truth. And I'm sure many racist dudes, if we was to really break them down and really go into their brains, they'd probably, and show them real true facts and so on, they'd probably throw up, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, this is how they do. So we have to start paying close attention to the trickery game. Even when it comes to Netanyahu, they're still speaking of Israel as if Israel is a country, as if Israel is a holy place, as if Israel is whatever you're saying it is. It is not. It's just a bunch of crazy ass motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? That have been fucking around our country, going all the way back to buying America. You know what I'm saying? After causing America economy and everything to fail, setting it up by systematic wickedness and mathematical bullshit, taking us into many, many different wars and all types of bullshit, and then sit up there and say to the people, you know what I'm saying, that the country is belly up and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So they have been doing this a long time. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? They're going to tell you truthful words. You know what I'm saying? I'm try to cut through some of this to make a truthful word. And then the truthful words are not based on the truthful word, and black people should be very smart to that by now. All over the world. You know what I'm saying? You can have leaders that speak a beautiful song. I mean, they sing and dance, they give you the words, they shake it, chicken, bang, bang. You know what I'm saying? All that, even up in church. And the Lord said, whether you like it or not. You know what I'm saying? Speak, Pastor, speak. And, with a napkin. And I gotta, let you know. You see the way that he's telling you this. You see what I'm saying? In this convictional way, you know what I'm saying? Now, even when we was looking at a speech with my man Khalid Muhammad, when he was speaking about Ferguson in that speech and everything. It was one of the greatest speeches that he did. You know what I'm saying? To me. But at the same, and he did many great ones. But at the same time, you know, you can't be mad at him in more ways than one, because he's a product of a system, 1995, and at the same time, a product of telling the truth, not a lie. You know what I'm saying? And can be backed up by mad things, because this is the game that these people play. They do all this shit in secrecy, and then they go out and they actually put this shit into play. And then when they do, billions of people's lives are lost, because you're believing something that is told to you in a truthful form, but bears no truth other than what they stole to make this lie truthful to you. You know what I'm saying? So they went out and stole other people's culture, scrolls, books. They broke into tombs. You name it, we got in Toyota. And then turn around at the same time and enslave the very same people, or call themselves slaving the same people who either wrote it or ancestral to the people who wrote it, and the people who have done the greatness on planet Earth in more ways than one. So there's a group of people that didn't have this greatness at all. Their greatness was only based on many times of murder, killing, brutality, carrying on in chaotic ways, not just that, but in many other ways, and then influencing their people into following down that road. So now you go from here to their country, and their country is a total, you know, when you find out the different things that the leaders are doing and how he telling the people the truth and about, you know, the Bible and how he loved God and Allah and all these different Buddha and all these different other kind of religions and all kinds of stuff going across the planet, some even creating ones. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that, you know, and then they enslaving the people in the religion, and if they don't, then you know, they get chastised and they get whipped, and all this is what they're saying that this can happen. Same thing when Biden went to the college. He went to the college, and the college people are now turning their backs on him. Many of them turn the other way while he's talking. You know what I'm saying? And then he's talking about, and God this and God that. You notice in the speech he brought up about God and religion and all of that. And the same thing is the question still remains, is why every time you want to, you know, do something for the world, you want to use a nigger to do it, to niggerize everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And make the world think that, you know what I'm saying, that, my wallet, but it's wallet out. And thinking that, you know, you could use the black man to cover their ass in the garbage that they do. See, they'll use any method of psychology in order to get you to go down the road with them. And then when they get down the road and they do the shit they do, and then you start to realize, because they say this because, you know, they want you to know, you know what I'm saying, that we did it and we're not going to jail and we did it. That was our part. You know? You know, they send you down the road, and then the truth starts to come out, everybody starts retracting, all kinds of information starts coming out. But the damage is already done. You see, that's the whole point. So, you know, when you see people using these type of slurs and psychology in all ways, we know full well that they are going to do that. And that it doesn't just rest only with the demons, it rests even with many of the people who affiliate themselves, or the affiliation of the demon Democrats themselves, you know, the groups, the different deep state, you know, we will call them deep state, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have to go through every single one of them. You know, the deep state, the mathematical worship, because that's who they worship. You know, doing this, you know what I'm saying? Doing this, and down there doing this. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we know full well that it's a cult. It's a mathematical Luciferian, crazy ass, or wherever they come from, cult. You see what I'm saying? But they can't present that to the general public, the type of nastiness and the crazy shit that they do. So they have to keep that in secrecy, you see. This is where them secrecy and all that stupidness. But at the same time, they're going to give you a book or convert your people, or they're going to kill them off and then teach them, the kids, attack the children with the same thing, even in schools and different places. And they're going to give you this book. And over time, with your parents even taking you to the, I don't like to call it that, but taking you to their church, you know what I'm saying? I have another name for it, but I'm not going to say that. You know, taking you to their so-called wannabe church, you know what I'm saying? And then teaching you, and the pastor, they're doing convictions and, you know, baptizing with, baptizing, and all type of trickery games to your mentality. So you're sitting there every Sunday thinking that you're going there to meet with God or God representative. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with civil rights leaders. A lot of them do the same thing. They think that when black people get out there and they're protesting and they're carrying on and they're arguing about this and that, you know what I'm saying? They think that this leader is going to do this for them and do that for them, but it's not. The same thing we see in Chicago, you know what I'm saying? All the years, the crime, the violence, the living, you know, the poverty, all kinds of things going on over there. You know what I'm saying? Black people struggling, whatever, because we know they love to do it systematically. It's not the black, it's the systematic system in which, in the country in which you live, and the crooked ass, broken back leaders that seem to be doing worse. And they're over there telling the people they ain't got no money for this and they ain't got no money for that. Every time, you know what I'm saying, I send them back home, you know what I'm saying? But when they jump the border and come over here and fill up all Democratic cities to vote for them in the near future that they're planning maybe 10, 20 years from now as they populate, you know, all the riches. You know, they come over here, but you got money for them to do everything. They even right here in Coram, they even got them buying brand new houses, and they just been over here a minute, you know what I'm saying? You know, I don't see a lot of black people owning houses anymore. I see them stuck on rent, you know what I'm saying, paying somebody else, a pirate, you know what I'm saying, or whatever you want to call it, landlord, whether it's his house or not, and then, you know, going by economics, same as when you have an apartment in these complexes. They're allowed to go up $100 every year. Now the rent is already $2,500 or $26 or $27 or $28, and then they go up another $100. That's $29. They go next year, they go up another $100 thing, and before the next year to drive the poor people out. So it just becomes the old rich land in the next 20 or 30 years, and all you see around here is their color skin coming from Mexico and, you know, in China and all kinds of places while they run the niggas down the shitty ass lane. You know what I'm saying? I guess to gather us down in the south so they could gather us back into slavery, you know what I'm saying? And all kinds of bullshit in these motherfuckers had. Now you never know. But you see, this is the type of mind frame that black people have got to get off. One of the things they have got to get off of is their scriptural book that you call a Bible. You know what I'm saying? You've got to get off of that, because it's not your God that they're talking about, and it's not your way at all. It's a way that was pushed on you through many different factions. Slavery, even going back to Africa, you know, because it was going on there before it came here. I mean, it was going on there as well as when it came to the point of the corruption and the crooked mathematical barbarians coming in and doing the bullshit and bringing this here and then putting it in the people's head, and then they're able to sit there and rewrite it a billion times. You know what I'm saying? Rewrite it a billion times, because even when you look at the back of the book, you know what I'm saying, it's every time they print one, they always put that in the book, but you have revised so many versions of the book, and you have tampered with even the very first set of books that you had, that you wrote, saying that, you know, saying that wasn't original. There's no original, but so in every single version, and there's about 200, 350 versions, probably a billion versions, you know, say you always put it, if any man tamper with it or change his words, you know what I'm saying, you should bring plagues and all this and that and that and that. You notice what they put up and where that's at in the back of the book. They could have said that in the middle, couldn't they? You know what I'm saying? But at the same, or even the beginning, you know what I'm saying? And they even, but they make sure they save it for the chapter called Revelation. Yeah, Revolution probably, but at the same time, you put it in there, and then at the back of the book, if you know, psychologically blow down their brains, or they sit at home and blow out their brains with this book, you know what I'm saying, in the back, say, if any man should change his words, and any man should change this and change that, the plagues will be upon him. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and end, and they believe in a lot of this stuff. I don't and I never will. You know what I'm saying? I have once been that way because I was young, immature, or even sometimes I didn't like to even tell people how I really feel or how I'm thinking, because when you do, then they start treating you different and arguing with you, and then it's always a debate, and it's always this, and then for me to try to convince them into they're not. You know what I'm saying? It's, many times I even ask black people, you know what I'm saying, why are you black but your God is white? So you say a white man created you when you know full well that is not true. You know what I'm saying? It's the other way around. You know what I mean? And that's for sure. Now you have this Billy Boy up there talking a bunch of bullshit, whoever he is.